Magic items and attunement, two huge things in tabletop roleplay games. How do they work in DC20? Here we go. First, we're going to talk about issues that I've had with magic items and attunement from other tabletop roleplay games, and then what this new DC20 system does to address those. Then I will do a mini showcase of the custom magic item system. And yes, when I say custom, you are going to be able, just like the weapon system that everybody loved with DC20, where you can customize and make your own weapons, where every weapon basically deals 1 damage and you get 2 properties, and you can mix and match and make your own weapon. Super cool. We've done the same thing with magic items. Over 100 different properties, all balanced and scaled with a certain power rating that they have to it, and you can combine them onto whatever different type of equipment slot and make your own custom magic item. Game Masters, you're welcome. This is exactly the type of resource that I was working on building for 5th edition until the shift to for DC20. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's talk about some issues. First up has been the overall concept of an item and where you equip it or how you go. If you wear armor, is it the full armor with the heads and shoulders and legs and boots included? And all this other stuff. So I personally think something like equipment slots is a better way to handle that, where there's clearly defined places, not too many where you get really nitty gritty, but there's clear places where you can put those equipment pieces. And yes, trust me, in the 0.9 character sheet, there will be equipment slots and places for you to be able to put all those things, but staying on the issue. Second problem is when I'm looking at magic items from Dungeons and Dragons, there are a lot of magic items that are way more powerful than their actual word classification system says. Wondrous, legendary, wherever the item falls, there's a lot of items that kind of don't really fit in that category as far as where it should be, and game masters that aren't as experienced might not know how powerful that item really is, especially in certain players' hands. So I'd love for there to be some sort of number or level or something to the magic item to know about how strong it is. And I would also say that some magic items would have a strength of 0 for just being absolutely useless effectively. You know, flavor magic items. And then the third problem is just overall attunements, is having items be restricted to 3 attunements, and it's just a very on or off system of you can attune to 3 items. That's it, regardless of power, regardless of anything. From levels 1 to 20, that doesn't change. It just stays at 3, and how much power can be contained within each slot also stays the same. Oh, and another issue I have about attunements is I've never liked that attunements take a long rest or something. I've never understood the role play aspect or even the mechanical aspect of like, okay, I take a long rest with it, and then like, when does it sync up to me? Why does it take a long rest? Does it happen at the end of the long rest? Why is it having to take so long? I feel like the role play and the mechanics and the lore of it is that magic items have a pulsating magic inside of them that your body naturally wants to fight off. Just like when a spell is trying to be cast on you, you fight it off. So if you pick up a magic item that you maybe could attune to, I feel like there would be some sort of resistance to it. So I feel like it should just simply be an action to attune to a magic item. This also can create some epic things in combat where you pick up a magic item and attune to it. I just think that should be the default. And then if you want to have specific magic items that take more things for you to have to do to attune to it, of course I love that. Have them have to spend a full 24 hours with it in their possession, then they attune to it. Have them have to kill something with the item, and then they attune to it. Cool. But the default should just be in action anyway. All right, enough complaining. What are the solutions that DC20 is looking to solve? Here we go. This here is the equipment slots that you have for your character. A headpiece of some kind, whether it be a helmet or a circlet or whatever. A necklace of some kind. Mantle is a clever combination of like shoulder armor or some sort of cloak cape thing. Body is the overall armor set of the entire body, legs and chest included. Belt, boots, hands, ring on the left and a ring on the right. Now again, these are the beta rules of the game. So something like, backpack. Does that mean I can't wear a backpack, or it counts as I can't wear a cape if I have a backpack? There's gonna be things like that that's clarified and polished off. Next up, we have magic properties for the magic items. Every magic item can have 3 magic properties, and it can't have the same magic property more than once. No repeats. Certain properties can stack, where if you have extra fire damage added to a weapon or extra fire resistance, that can stack as +1, +2, +3, still counting all as just 1 magic property. Then there's also a unique thing called unique magic properties, and these are actual things that are kind of off the grid, come something super separate and super special and unique and specific for this item. And within the context of a custom system where you can mix and match some of these things and features to be able to make your own custom magic item, this unique tag is something that you only get one of, and it's for that item only. And this unique concept can be on very simple, normal magic items, just make them a little bit more special, or it can be on very powerful ones with some extra crazy effect. Speaking of power, how much power do magic items have? I'm a new game master to DC20 or tabletop roleplay games in general, and I want to give out a magic item, but it doesn't want it to be too strong. This is just a little quest, or maybe this is a big deal. Maybe I want to give them this level of power out of a magic item, but then in the future, I want to give them a better one. I can now have a number called magic power. Yes, this is a very simple name. We could maybe come up with a different name for it in the future, but it's very simple. It shows the overall power level of an item. Simple enough. And there are things that have magic power of 0, and I'll even show some examples of that. Now for one of the biggest things that a lot of people wanted to know about attunement and how it works in DC20, and here we go. Attunement. It takes one action point to attune to a magic item. Simple as that. You pick it up, you put it on, you wear it, whatever, and you feel there's a magic that's almost trying to push into you, but there's that natural resistance to it, and you allow yourself to let the magic wash over you, or however you want to describe it, and you spend an action point to do so. Now outside of combat, this is simple as it just happens. And then yes, you obviously can have other things and make it be a long rest, make it be a longer 24-hour, all these other things if you want to be more special with it. And there's even something cool called contested attunements, where you can try and take attunement over from someone in a contest. Cool. But here's my favorite part, is the attunement limit. You can attune to a maximum number of magic items equal to your prime modifier. So yes, at level 1, that number would be 3. Very simple, 3, and then it scales though. Your prime modifier is your highest attribute, so it scales as you level to where it goes up to 4, then 5, then 6, then 7 at level 20. But it gets better than that because certain magic items also can consume certain numbers of attunement slots. So if you have some regular item that has some normal effects on it, and one of them requires attunement, so it takes up one of those 3 slots at level 1. But what if instead you found a crazy powerful magic item, something absolutely insane, and it took 3 attunement slots to attune to it? So a level 1 character, they could only literally attune to this magic item, and that's it. But then at level 5, when their prime modifier increases, they get an extra 1. Now they can attune to more. And you can attune to more items than you're supposed to be able to. You could at level 1 go for 4, 5, or more magic items, but there's some penalties. But then what about this custom magic item system? I'm super excited to share this with y'all. So you could take this concept I'm about to talk about and apply it to D&D 5th edition. That's what we were going to be doing entirely. And if you want that large amount of work done for you already, that was already planned to be worked on for 5th edition, that then we just like, okay, changing it to DC20, that work's been done, and we are releasing it right now in the volume 2 of the DC20 magazine. The first volume was the Scion class and the Cyborg ancestry. That's exactly what the DC20 magazine is for, releasing content to be able to put in your hands now for things that would be otherwise released much farther into the future. And it lets you guys be able to get your hands on it and play test with it right now, get feedback from it as we polish it off during this process to then release it as official content. So we thought a perfect thing for the volume 2 of the magazine to be magic items. Right now, there's no magic items that officially exist in the game. So I thought the perfect solution for that was a custom magic item system with over 100 plus features that you can pick and choose from to make your own. So I'm gonna give a showcase and sneak peek at the system right now. But if you want to pick it up yourself, just join Patreon anytime during the month of August, or after that, you can pick it up individually on the website. So here's how this custom magic item system works. Basically, what we did is took every single magic item from D&D, Pathfinder, home things that we've made over the last couple of years here, every concept you could possibly brainstorm of what a magic item could do. We took them all and then individually broke out different parts of different pieces of what type of magic effect is the magic item doing, giving you some sort of bonus to stealth, giving you more health, whatever that is. And then we assign power rankings to each and every one of them to give some sort of balanced stat value for the magic power that that specific trait has. Some traits are scalable and being able to increase it up and down, or some traits are a one-time only thing and sometimes they are very powerful. Maybe an individual feature is even 7 magic power or something, whereas most features are probably 1 through 3. So I'm going to showcase some of these over 100 plus magic properties, and you'll get to see what I'm talking about. And then at the end, I'll show some examples. First great example is a might increase. We can actually do this in DC20. It is 2 magic power and it's stackable, meaning you could do this multiple times, going from 2 to 4 to 6 and so on. It does require attunement because something this powerful requires attunement. You can't just be jacking your stats up and your attributes super high. Your might increases by 1. That's a huge deal, but it is up to your attribute limit, which at level 1 is only 3. But don't worry, we got you covered, because if your might is already equal to that highest attribute limit, then you instead gain +3 health. Super simple and flavorful. You can add this little bonus magic power onto an item. If you do, it requires attunement. If you have another feature that also requires attunement, now it requires 2 attunement slots. And then you just add up how much magic power it was, and you now know how many attunement slots it takes up and how much power this magic item has. For the second example here, we have a health increase. This also requires attunement. We're messing with somebody's health. And this is also part of the things having to do with play testing. Maybe something like this doesn't require attunement because it is only just 3 health, but here we go. It is 1 magic power and it's stackable. So if you're a character that already is mighty on their own, you probably want to have a health increase type of magic item instead of somebody that's actually gaining entire attribute stats of might increases. For the third one here, super simple. Climb speed. It is a magic power of 1. You get a climb speed equal to your ground speed. Or if you want to spice up the climb speed, spider climb. Boom, now it's 2 magic power, and you can actually walk up surfaces, not having to climb it. You just literally walk up them like a spider. But what if you really like this spider vibes going on here, and you really want to build in a magic item that really allows for more spidery type? You want to be Spider-Man magic item. So this is a perfect time to show an example of a 0 power magic item. Web Walker has a magic power of 0, and you can walk along and through webs unimpeded. Specifically, just only webs. I love this example of a 0 power magic item because it's really not powerful at all. Very specific in its usefulness. So imagine the game at level 1 and you could pick up some sort of spider ring and it's just all it is web walking. Give that out like candy, who cares? Or what if you want to build a custom magic item and you want to give it that spider climb magic power that we talked about a second ago? Well, that's 2 magic power. What if you also wanted to add some sort of feature to it where you could shoot webs, and that's like 3 magic power. So now that's 5 magic power. And then you know what? Let's attach that 0 magic power item onto it. And now you've created a very cool magic item. Or instead, with this item I just made up in my head, what if you take out the spitting webs thing and you want to just keep the spider walk and give it poison resistance? There's also a magic property of damage resistance half, which is halving all damage you take from that type. And we could add 3 back in for poison resistance. But wait a second, that's a lot. That's a 5 power. I don't know if I want to give away something that strong. Let me back that up real quick. So I have spider climb and of course the 0 web walker thing, but I want to do just a little bit extra. Well, in DC20 there is damage resistance half, which is where you half the damage every time. And then there's also something called damage resistance 1 or 2, 3, 4, etc. If there's a number for the damage resistance, you just reduce and subtract off 1 each time you would take poison damage. So if you're going to take 5 poison damage, you'd instead take 4. And if you're going to take 1 poison damage, you'd take none. So for this hypothetical spider magic item we're just coming up with on the fly here, I can instead do damage resistance 1 for poison and just do 1 of it. And now I have spider climb, the 0-point web walker, and I have poison resistance 1. Now resistance in general is pretty strong, especially passive type of benefits are pretty strong. So this would require attunement, but the spider climb feature did not require attunement. And of course the 0-point doesn't require attunement. So this magic item we made right here, right now requires 1 attunement slot and has a magic power of 3. Now here are some example magic items of how you'll see this outlined and budgeted so that you could literally customize and swap it out to build your own. Kind of like how ancestries work in DC20 as well, where you have a default amount of traits that you get from your ancestry that are worth a certain amount of points, and you can swap them out. Game masters and all that kind of stuff will be able to do this with the magic items and be able to feel confident in doing it because the numbers are right there for you. So boots of spider climb. Hey, we're on a roll here with this thing. Its item slot is boots. There you go. Has a magic item power of 2 because, and where does that come from? Oh, 2 points from spider climb, 0 from web walk. Now let's get off the spider climb stuff. What about goggles of dark vision? This is a head slot that you wear it on. Magic item power of just 1, and it's dark vision. Done. But if you already have dark vision, it increases by 5 spaces. It's foolproof. What about armor of the sea? It's an item, you wear it, it's armor, it's on your body. Now, could I switch this to boots? Could I switch this to a cape? Could I switch this to a ring? Sure, why not? But this one is armor, and it has a magic item power of 3. And where each of those 3 points come from is 1 from water breathing, 1 from water walking, and 1 from driftwood. Driftwood, by the way, is a really cool property. At the start of your turn when you're underwater, you can choose to automatically rise 10 spaces without spending movement. And if you fall unconscious and you can't do anymore, you just go to the surface of the water. And let's show a more powerful magic item of necklace of perfect health. Item, necklace, obviously. Magic power is 5. Oh, wow. It has 2 points worth of a health increase. Again, health increase is a stackable, which every single time you do it is plus 3 health, like we showed. And this one has 2 versions of that for a total of 6 health. But that's 2 magic power. And you also get wound closure. You automatically stabilize while on death's door. And 2 points worth of healthy is any disease or poison affecting you being suppressed. So there it is. What do you think of it? Let me know. This whole system, if you're interested in diving into it and playing with it, it is available down in the links in the description by either joining Patreon or individual website stuff. And you get early access to this to whenever this type of thing gets released in the future, but you also get to be a part of playing with it and trying to break it. So if you love the weapon system of DC20, then you're going to love this as well. And stay tuned for the armor and shield system, which is going to be built in the same type of way. Because when I hear that y'all love something, especially like the weapon system, I really want to try and take that and run with it to be the feel of DC20. So until next time, stay creative, think outside the box. Peace.